We're going to still talk a little bit NFL draft, talk some LSU spring football with Jace, LeJeune, and draft winners and losers as the NFL draft keeps rolling on. So hour number 2, OTB, starts now. Sit back and relax.
Off the bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Okay, here we go.
Where the plays get broken down and science gets denied.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
Hour 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Raising Cane studio.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 here on a Friday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp here with you, filling in for Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. Alondra Villarreal out as well. One remaining member of Off the Bench here on a Friday. Jordan Kitchens, Braxton Rizzuto along for the ride as well. Hour number 1, very NFL draft heavy, is round 1 last night. Round 2 and 3 here later this afternoon. Right now, though, I want to shift focus from the NFL over to college football as LSU just about set to wrap up their spring practice. We'll be joined by Jace LeJeune of Gridiron Football. Jace, how you doing this morning?
Doing good, Taylor. What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. You know, you and I, we were talking back and forth the other day, and you told me about all these camps you guys were having over at Gridiron Football. Tell me about the camps, man. You've had a number of these things going on.
Oh, yeah. We usually play on about 2 camps per month, and anybody's really not familiar with what we do. We host a bowl game at the end of the year. It's for seniors after their senior seasons are over with. They get to go to LSU, Louisiana Christian University, and perform in front of college coaches. And we've had a pretty good success in sending a lot of guys to play at the next level. And we recruit a lot of the guys for the bowl game from these camps, these all-season camps. And that's going pretty good. We've had a kid at one of our camps earlier this off season. He actually ran a 4.2940 at our camp.
That's pretty fast, right?
Yeah, it's pretty fast. I mean, if you compare him with everybody else in the NFL Combine, I'll probably put him the 4th fastest, which is pretty crazy for a high school kid. But he entered that camp with 1 offer, and 1 D1 offer, and now he's up to 16 after the video was posted of him running the 40. He's from Grant High School. Ahmad Sykes, I think he's rated now as a 3-star recruit, so he's definitely a guy that's on the rise. He was at LSU's junior day as well, so he's actually on LSU's radar as well. So trying to help a lot of kids get exposure and get their name out there, and that was definitely a big success story for us this offseason.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you guys do over there at Gridiron Football, which is why I always love having you on. Jace, moving from the high school ranks over to the guys that are already on college campuses, LSU spring football. Last media availability was actually yesterday, so that is the last we will get to see of the Tigers here in the spring of 2026. So, let me ask you this. I understand you've been busy with camps and stuff, but the time you were able to get out there, it seemed like earlier in spring practice, it was really tilted toward the defense. The offense was struggling at times. I mean, that first scrimmage you and I got to go to out at Tiger Stadium where the media was fully involved, like the offense they looked flat out bad. Well, they've gotten better since then. Landon Clark looks more comfortable. Husan Longstreet's taken a big step forward as well. So, in your opinion, yes, those guys are essentially battling for QB2, if you will. How big of a deal is it that LSU doesn't have Sam Levitt out there in the spring?
Well, I asked Lane Kiffin about that the first time we had media availability with him, and he was talking about that. Really, I was asking about chemistry, with the team and how important is that to really install this early. And he said, really, in spring is really more about fundamentals, if anything. Just trying to really start all over because you start with a whole brand new team, basically. So you're really putting in the fundamentals. So when you go to fall camp, that's really more about, the summertime. That's really more about chemistry. And you talk about Trinidad Chambliss, that he really didn't come over until the summer. So I don't think it's such a big deal that Sam Levitt has not been getting the snaps in spring, hasn't getting the reps. I think it's like Lane Kiffin said, I think it benefits really both parties. Sam gets a chance to continue to heal and recover from surgery, and you also have the other 2 quarterbacks, see what they can do and get them a lot of reps in Kiffin's scheme.
Yeah, I'm actually with you, Jace. From the start, my opinion's always kind of been, I don't think it's a huge deal that Levitt's not out there. He's a guy that's played a lot of college football, right? He can take the mental reps. He can still throw to receivers off to the side. He's just not going to do any full contact drills, which I mean, let's be honest, Clark and Longstreet aren't going full contact either. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. But as far as outside of the quarterback position, like we've seen Longstreet and Landon Clark both make some good plays, both make some mistakes, but like top standouts for you, maybe guys you're hearing a lot of buzz about, guys you've seen in person. Who are some top standouts for you for the Tigers here in the spring?
Really, I look at the secondary. I mean, I think they really won the spring for me. I mean, Tamarcus Cooley, he was really good. He was pretty solid last year, but really he's having himself an outstanding spring. And every time we're out there, he's making plays. Every time we're out there, he's making picks. And he made a pick in that scrimmage too. But Ty Benefield, P.J. Whittleman's making plays. You know what DJ Pickett can do. Man, this secondary has a chance to be really special this year. And, try and get back to LSU DBU, adding Deshaun Spears, kind of playing that star role. Man, this secondary is looking really solid. Dylan Jones at the running back position. I mean, he's a guy that really, just stood out, just seeing him for the first time. And he's taking a lot more reps with the ones. And Winnie Watkins, as far as a receiver, I thought he's had a really good spring as well. So a lot of new faces, definitely a lot to really get used to with a whole new team and a whole new regime under Lane Kiffin. But really a lot of guys to really like.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the secondary, Jace. Like, I've only got to go out there 2 or 3 times just because normally we are on air on this show when LSU's out there practicing. But, from what I've been able to see when I've been out there, secondary kind of looks like the best group on this team right now. And that's why I was so excited when a guy like Ty Benefield came in. My thought was, okay, it may not be the biggest need for you at safety, but it allows Deshaun Spears to go down in the star. It gives you so much versatility, another veteran body back there. Love what I've seen from the secondary. So, okay, maybe outside of them, that kind of leads into the next thing, like a position group you're excited to watch in 2026. Like we know secondary kind of seems like the most polished group right now, but is there a group that intrigued you going into the season?
Yeah, I really like the linebackers as well. Maybe talking, just kind of staying on that side of the football too. I mean, you heard Coach Kiffin talk about it, but the defense, this is going to be a defensive team. I mean, starting off, and you see it, right? I mean, you see the secondary and the linebackers. When Whit Weeks is fully ready to go. I know he's back with the team the last week of spring, but when he's fully out there at 100%, you know what kind of linebacker he is. They get T.J. Dottery. I thought he was all over the field making plays too of that scrimmage I saw, and pair him with Von Keys. I like that group, and the tight ends too. I think the tight ends have been pretty sneaky as well because we know about Trey'Dez Green, but Malachi Thomas is making some plays too. So as far as a good 1-2 punch, so that's definitely a position group. Obviously, everybody knows about Trey'Dez Green, but as a whole, with that position group, something to really not sleep on.
All right, we've been pretty positive so far through this interview. We're going to go a little bit more towards the negative side. So spring basically wrapped up now. What is your biggest concern for this team heading into the fall?
Well, with just seeing them in spring, I mean, I feel like the offensive line, I mean, there's only one way to go up, but just from what I saw, just from the scrimmage, I mean, I still think that's a work in progress. And but you feel like you have some pieces, though. I mean, obviously, with Jordan at left tackle. But, yeah, Jordan Seaton. But, I mean, there's just a lot of things you can really try to see. Both Bordelons had a good spring, but you just don't really know. I know the defensive line really gave offensive line a lot of fits from the scrimmage I was at. And just really the overall depth, Taylor, to be honest with you, on the defensive side. I really love the starters. The defensive front, too, I think I like the starters there. I just think depth is kind of the biggest thing, really, all 3 levels. So it's really important, I think, for this defense really to stay healthy. So I think it's just trying to really continue to develop the depth defensively is my thing.
This is always an underrated portion of spring practice because it's not the flashiest spot, but to me, one of Brian Kelly's biggest Achilles heels when he was here was the special teams unit and the punting game in general. Like, when we've been out there, a couple scrimmages, we've got to see the punt unit a little bit. I thought both guys kind of struggled with consistency. I actually thought Hayden Craig was probably the better of the two out there. Obviously, the transfer coming in. We've seen Scott Starzik hit some long ones. We've seen him miss some long ones. What's kind of been your thought on special teams? Like, I kind of thought that was a big weakness under Brian Kelly.
I agree. And really through the scrimmage I saw, like, that was a little bit, we talked about the inconsistency there, punting. but kicking. I mean, we talked about the kicker transfer from Arkansas, Scott. I mean, he missed. I think he attempted like 5 kicks and missed like 3. So, and that's like no rush going at special teams. So, I think special teams is definitely a concern leaving the spring as well. I mean, as far as that too, we don't really get to see a whole lot of that during practice because you're so focused. You only have maybe 20 minutes the first couple of weeks to really look at everything. But just seeing the scrimmage and seeing how that was orchestrated, I can see that special teams is a concern as we head into fall.
Yeah, and Jace, as we approach the summer months, it's going to be list season, as we say, projection season as we head into SEC Media Days. A lot of talk about like LSU's win total, is it playoffs or bust? Like, in your opinion, what record, like what would be considered a failure for Kiffin here in year one?
I would say in year one, obviously anything less than 8 wins. I mean that would be.
And that's the bottom, right?
That's the bottom, right? I mean, right now you're kind of looking at them through spring, and you don't really incorporate Sam Levitt because you haven't really seen Sam with the team. You probably think that this is with so many new offensive pieces, and that's really going to tell the tale this season, Taylor. I mean, I think the defense is going to be as good as it can be across the country. This defense is going to keep this team in games. The question is, with all these new pieces on offense, how does this offense gel? I mean, that's going to really determine the season for LSU. How all these new pieces gel will determine the season. So, I mean, I think going in, you're looking at a 9-3 team. I mean, this is also a very tough schedule too, off the bat, first year. So you're looking at the 9, maybe 10 win range is what I'm looking at.
All right, Jace, before we get you out of here, what you guys got going on at Gridiron?
Yeah, we have a camp coming up tomorrow, actually. So that's going to be my birthday. So, of course, we put on the camp up tomorrow.
Wait a minute. We've known each other for years. Your birthday's tomorrow?
Yeah.
Dude, happy early birthday.
Yeah.
How old are we?
Oh, 29. I got one more year left in the 20s, man.
You're also a year younger than me. Didn't know that. I'll be 30 in September. Yeah. Not happy about it.
But we do have a camp coming up tomorrow at Albany High School. It's basically for any players, 6th grade through 11th grade. All the players will get film as far as their reps, 40 shuttle broad jump, all the combine. The camp itself like college camp, so it's a good way to learn for young players to get kind of go through the process. And also, if you're a 2027 prospect, we're looking for players for the Gridiron Bowl game. This is the best way to get evaluated for that camp. You can register online at gridironfootballusa.com, or you can just show up to the camp at Albany High School. Registrations from 8 to 9:45 is $100, walk-ups as well. So you can either pay online or you can walk up to the camp at 8 to 9:45. The camp's 10 to 1. Marcus Randall, former LSU quarterback, I know will be one of the coaches that will be at the camp. So if you're an upcoming quarterback, might as well learn from one of the best in Marcus. So, but there it is. Tomorrow, 8 to 1 is the camp. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of people there.
All right, Jace LeJeune of Gridiron Football. Jace, happy early birthday, and thanks for hopping on with me this morning.
Appreciate it, Taylor. Good catching up with you, man.
Yep, absolutely. That is Jace LeJeune of Gridiron Football, talking a little spring football practices. The Tigers spring